in a way, I think economists are, I don't know how useful they usually are in forecasting the economy, but I think they're maybe especially at sea right now because you really need an epidemiologist or a vaccine expert, more than an economist to say what's going to happen to the pandemic. And then I think, it's pretty clear, we're not going to have we're not going to get anywhere near back to normal until the basic pandemic is under control.
Yeah. So what does life look like? Any more thoughts on that, as to what the future looks like?
I don't know. It's going to, I think, like everybody else, I may be getting more pessimistic, just that we're going to, have our lives curtailed in all these different ways of things we can't do. And the economy, and of course, I'm like many people, are very concerned about the unemployment benefits running out and, the evictions and the, all the things that could be coming. I think it's bleak.
You wrote obviously a lot about Lehman Brothers during the Great Recession, and that's an amazing story, by the way. But I think I feel like we're just living in an environment where we're just now expecting the governments and central banks to come to the rescue. There doesn't seem to be any tolerance of, let the economy take its medicine, let Joseph Schumpeter's creative destruction occur. It's more just paper over the pain, create a bunch of zombie companies that'll just keep going and in a zombie state. And then ultimately you just have a zombie economy, maybe like Japan. Japan's got a different set of problems though, but, is that can we hang our hats on that there's just going to be more, like you say, you're worried that unemployment benefits will end, that evictions will begin. I don't know. I'm not too worried about any of that stuff, to tell you the truth. I think there'll just be another program.
Well, we'll see if there is another program. This is an issue we could, discuss for hours on end. There's the trade. Right, there is the zombie economy or zombie firm or zombie bank risk. There's sort of the opposite risk of sort of unnecessary, that if there's a crisis, that if people lose their jobs and just get their lives knocked off track and lose their houses, and if businesses close down and are ruined.
With the businesses, that's already happened, obviously. You had civil unrest to COVID, and that's just a disaster. It's terrible what's happened. Maybe easily, I'd say 30-40% of these businesses will never reopen.
Yes, so that's in a way the opposite of the zombie problem. It's businesses, there is nothing wrong with the businesses intrinsically, and yet they're going to get destroyed. And again, at the individual level, people who can't get jobs. There's all sorts of research about people who lose their jobs in recessions or leave schools in recessions, that they, 20 years later, you can see that they're not earning as much money because of the disruption. So I personally worry less about supporting a lot of zombie firms that are going to be a drag in the future. And I worry more about perfectly healthy firms and careers and things getting needlessly knocked off track.
Sure.
So then, I would tend to lean in favor of let's, Band-Aid might be a little pejorative, but let's use some short-term medicine to help people over and companies over the crisis.
Right. And I'm not saying I disagree with that, especially when it's a crisis like this, where it's not really like anybody's fault,
Exactly.
except maybe a lab in Wuhan, China. I don't know. We don't really know for sure, but still there are consequences for it, right? You can't just do what's being done without some backlash later, right?
Well, I guess one issue, of course, is we are getting the national debt to science fiction levels.
Yeah.
And and I think some people are maybe a little cavalier in saying that's not a problem. I think we need to do it. I think, the only thing which is at all an analogy is wartime, and, national debt skyrocketed in World War II. I don't think people would say, oh, that was a mistake. We were, there was a reason why that had to happen. And I think, again, the
but
spending.
after World War II, we fixed that problem. This time, I don't know that there's any path to fixing it, right?
Well, we'll see. Ideally, the crisis will pass, the economy will return to health, and then the debt can be slowly reduced over time. That's a legacy of the current situation, which, is going to have unfortunate consequences into the future, I think.
Back to that prior discussion we were having, it seems like during an election year, and granted, we're not that far away, assuming it all happens on time, but, they're really going to just bail out, fix, the problem, whatever, right?
I think I'm among the group of people who think that a Trump reelection would be cataclysmic on a number of different levels. I'm not sure I have anything especially to say about that hasn't been said many times. I'm basically terrified of the prospect.
Okay, so you're definitely not a Trump fan, but
no.
But what happens? What's different when Biden wins in terms of the fiscal and monetary policy? Obviously Democrats are spenders more so, but I don't know. Republicans are spenders too. Trump is a spender. Bush was a spender.
All right. So of course it's a little hard. Think so much could change over the next 3 to 6 months. But let's say if Biden were president right now. We would have, more, we would have more fiscal policy. We'd have some kind of extension of unemployment benefits. We'd have aid to state and local governments. And I'm with the people who say that that's sort of allowing fiscal crises to state and local governments and, raising state taxes, laying off teachers, that's a big unforced error that's looming. So right. I think, I think we would have what I would personally consider, more sensible fiscal policies trying to meet the crisis with Biden.
Wrap it up with any closing thought and give out your website.
So my website is just the economics department at Johns Hopkins. Probably easiest just to Google my name, Laurence Ball, Laurence with a U. Like a lot of people, I feel a little bit or a lot just at sea, not knowing what's going to happen. And again, in a sense, maybe economists should be banned from interviews for a while and just talk to the epidemiologist, because that's going to, if that gets under control, there's lots of reason for optimism. If it doesn't, then there isn't.